Hi, I'm Neil Hand. I'm the Vice President of our Performance PC and Tablet divisions at Dell. Today we're introducing two products, the T1700, which is the world's smallest professional level workstation product. We're also introducing the R7610, which is designed for data center deployment of the fastest graphics, highest performance systems in the world.
My name is Don Maynard, and I work in Austin, Texas in the Precision product group. And I'm a product manager for the dual socket Precision Workstations, which means our big tower products, and our just soon to be introducing to you our new Rack Workstation. And as part of the Rack Workstation portfolio, of course, that gets us into the whole world of virtualization. Today we're going to focus on two areas. At the entry level of our line with the T1700, we're very excited here because, and Sam's going to tell you more about it, but for the first time we're introducing not only an industry-leading small form factor here with a tower, but also a very small form factor design as well. And over on the right-hand side, where I'm going to be concentrating, is the new Precision R7610 Rack Workstation. I'm going to start off just to give you a little bit of highlights of kind of the architecture of the system. Neil talked about performance, about dependability, and of smart design. And the R7610 certainly measures up to those goals. Inside the box is the Intel Sandy Bridge architecture. So this has support for up to eight core processors. And in this space, having lots of cores is really important for a couple of two key areas. Number one, if customers are running multi-threaded applications, such as analysis applications, rendering applications in the media and entertainment space, those applications love cores, and we can deliver plenty of them with the architecture. When you get into the virtualization space, where you're literally sharing CPUs and memory and other parts of the system across multiple users, more cores is really important. The nice thing about this, so if you flip that around, since many of the applications in the workstation space are single-threaded, i.e. they're much more frequency sensitive because they can't necessarily use more cores, the Intel architecture has enhanced turbo, which is a great thing which dynamically shuts down inactive cores and increases the clock speed of the active core or cores. So dynamically, the system adjusts itself to the application workloads to really get the best performance possible. You combine the architecture with the brand new PCI Express Generation 3 I/O bus and 4-channel memory. Those two key subsystems are partnered with the processor on Intel's very fast QPI bus, really optimize the overall performance. When we talk about things like dependability, the R7610 has the Dell patented reliable memory technology that we introduced last year on the towers. This is great technology which virtually eliminates memory errors. On an ECC system, when the ECC memory detects and corrects an error, reliable memory technology takes over, and on the next reboot maps that bad spot out of the way. So the OS will not try to write to that bad spot. And after 7 occurrences of that, the user and our manageability software will get a message saying you should probably come in and have a look at that DIMM and replace it. You extend that to some additional features in the system. For example, we have redundant power supplies. Given that this goes into some business critical areas, whether it would be in the data center for virtualization or in an OEM application, because of the form factor is so convenient for a lot of different applications, a lot of our OEM customers like it. And in certain kinds of applications, medical imaging and things like that, it's really critical that the system stays up. So we have a redundant 1100 watt power supply. Given that this system now is going into virtualization environments where you are supporting right now 4 users, it's really critical that it be dependable. So we are engineering into the system support for very high performance graphics cards, and lots of them, and we have an optional 1400 watt power supply available for this system as well. As Neil mentioned, this is our 3rd generation Rack Workstation. And so customers are very clear as to why they like this form factor. The number one benefit for most customers is data security. Once you put the workstation into a data center or otherwise central location, by definition you have to access it over a network. So that means that the data on that system is secure. You never ship data out of the system. Better manageability. If you have it in a data center, then clearly the physical asset as well as the data can be managed better. Once you put that system in the data center, and if by definition someone has to get to it over a network, that means that system could be available 24 hours a day to different users at different times. So the kind of the follow the sun model, we have customers who actually use the workstation across the ocean for development purposes and may have 3 8-hour shifts in different parts of the world. So it makes it extremely flexible and gets a great return on investment. The other area that we see a lot of customers using this, if you have sort of unfriendly environments like a factory shop floor, an oil rig, any place where perhaps people are really cramped, where heat and noise is a problem, by removing the workstation removing the user from that environment, or leaving the workstation in a hazardous environment and having the user come across a network, that makes for a terrific use of that resource and provides a much more favorable work environment. We have a customer in, I think it's New Zealand, in a mining environment where it's a very unpleasant area to work. It's miles and miles and miles from the nearest city. They had an awful time getting people to come and work in that environment. So what do? They put these workstations into the mining environment, and they had a WAN to a major city where all the users lived and did their work and everybody was happy. So here's the way that we attach remote users to the workstation. We've been deploying this Teradici technology now for 3 generations. And essentially we have a card that sits inside the Rack Workstation and captures the graphics from the graphics card, compresses them, encodes them, and sends them across the network to a zero-client device, the Dell P25. Both of these devices have the Teradici chip inside. This is best in class because you're not using any CPU cycles to do the heavy lifting of compression and encoding. If you look over here on the right-hand side here, we are running 3D Studio Max, and it's running on the Rack Workstation there behind Neil. And the device that is actually capturing those compressed pixels and decompressing, etc., is the P25. So this little box is doing all the decode and decompression and feeding pixels to that screen. The advantage of that is it's a zero client, no OS to manage, and there's no storage in that device, so it's very secure. This is how we do one user to one workstation at a time. Of course, once you start putting workstations in the data center, the next question people say is, well, can I get more than one user on it? Every customer we talk to is asking us about virtualization these days. Working with Citrix and a solution that is known as GPU pass-through, we can support up to 4 users on a single Rack Workstation. And the pass-through model is great because although you're virtualizing CPU, memory resources, I/O, etc., you are dedicating a graphics card per each user, per each machine. Since it's not possible to virtualize OpenGL graphics today, this is a great solution. You can see a mobile unit, a desktop, and 2 mobile units. Each one of those is running, in 3 cases, Inventor, in the other case, Premiere. Each of those applications is running on a Rack Workstation back there with Citrix HDX 3D Pro. So you can support comfortably 4 users with high-end graphics. Later on this year, we'll see the emergence of solutions that use true virtualized graphics. I make the distinction because in the previous example, you were virtualizing CPU, memory, I/O, but you had dedicated graphics associated with a virtual machine. Later this year will be the capability coming to actually virtualize graphics and to increase the number of users per graphics card. We'll have some offerings later this year that address that. That kind of sums it up, the Rack Workstation story. We're very proud of this system. We think it's industry leading and the marketplace tells us it is. Now I'd like to turn things over to my colleague Sam.
Hi everyone, my name is Samantha Phoenix. I also work with the Precision product group and excited to fly over and meet you all today and talk about our new entry-level T1700 Precision Workstations. This is our first time that we're introducing an entry-level workstation with a small form factor as well as the mini tower chassis. Anywhere where you have a space constraint, we think this is going to just be a great solution. And the demo, actually you can see running on there, is from one of our technology partners. It's from Acumen. We also have the mini tower running another demo here. This entry-level workstation class is very good for entry-level 3D and 2D. With these new T1700s, we looked at increased performance as well as the small form factor chassis design, and we also have an expanded list of ISV certifications, about 50 certifications on this system. So we take advantage of our Intel, we have Xeon and Core next generation processors. You can run 4 displays. I think you're really going to see a good fit for entry-level 2D, 3D operations, like manufacturing engineering applications in there. We've got them all certified.
I just want to quickly summarize. The precision business at Dell is critical to us. We think the customer base is a really super important one for us. The creative professional that may be in finance, engineering, film and media are who we are trying to make sure and will continue to deliver best-in-class solutions. Today we're introducing the R7610, the world's fastest server-based design for virtualization in the back room, either 1-to-1, 1-to-4, in the future 1-to-many, and the world's smallest, dedicated workstation for somebody to have on their desk, the T1700.